they were all like people that I kind of, in a weird way, I was like, ooh, they a cool older person. That's what's up. Oh my God. Like, you understand? Like that's how, just how young females are. Like, oh, I thought they was that deal. Except for the one I'm going to talk about now. I thought she was a cool person, but I didn't want to be like her because she looked whatever. Like, and you had a head start. Like, and she used to always have this stiff ass weave. Like when she would turn to the left, it's stiff on to the right, like of her shoulder. It just was like, you bought that shit, you paid somebody to put that shit up in your fucking head like that, and then you walk around here like it's cute. But like I said, I thought she was cool, so I didn't care about none of that. Now I don't give a fuck. So now my older dudes, like, you understand, as far as like the older bros, like, you know, that lived on the block, that knew me when I was in my mother's stomach type shit, like, you understand, was cool with my brothers and sister, like, you know, they never like liked him. You understand, from when they was younger. Like I said, he's a little older than me. Now, I don't know about back in the days with niggas selling drugs and stuff like that, because it was like, that wasn't a part of my fucking life. So all that beef stuff that they was like, yeah, and he foul and all, I was like, all right. So it was one brother in particular. He had came home from jail. Now, you know, he sat and was trying to have a heart to heart with me. He was like, yo, what's wrong with you? So I'm like, you know, because I was all ditzy and shit. I'm like, what do you mean? So then he's like, why are you fucking with that lemon? So I was like, what? Lemon? What are you talking about? So he was like, why you fucking with Carlos? That nigga is a lemon. You supposed to know better. Like, we taught you better. You supposed to know better to fuck with some lemon ass nigga like that. So I was like, listen, people change. I don't know what y'all was going through back in the days, but he's a very nice person. I didn't know no better. I still was stuck on stupid. Y'all must excuse me. But he's like, listen, I'm trying to tell you, you could do better. So, you know, they used to always try to, like, you know, play hookup dating service or whatever and stuff like that. But, like, they were all, like, good dudes. So it was never, like, no raggedy dudes or anything. Like, but I just didn't like them. And they felt like, because you know how the rest of the bitches, all you have to do is have money. Like, you don't have to have nothing else. You could be a fucking rapo or something like that, but they'll overlook that fucking shit because he got money in a nice car. That's not me. Like, you understand? Like, I have to like your ass. If I don't like your ass, then I don't like you. Like, I'd rather be poor with somebody I like than have all this shit and be looking at somebody that I'm disgusted to look at every fucking day and be like, oh, but I could ride in a Ferrari. Like, you understand? Like, nah, that's just not what I'm into. But this bro, he was like, yo, you know, like, come with me or whatever. He used to always take me everywhere with him. So he took me to, like, meet this dude. I guess he thought, like, if I would, like, see him and chill with this person, that maybe I would like him or something, instead of just, like, trying to tell me, you know, like how he was doing before, like, yo, I want you to meet this person or whatever and stuff like that. And I'm like, no, I don't want to. So this person, I guess, like, this bro took a little more time and thought into it, but it still didn't work. But I used to rhyme, so this person was a producer, you know, they had a studio. Like, it was a good look. If I'd have fucked with him, it'd have been probably a good look. But I didn't like him. I thought he was cool. Like, I was like, oh, like, I wouldn't mind working with him in the studio, but I wasn't trying to go on no date. I wasn't trying to do none of that. But, like, I'm not like a snotty person, so, you know, I took his phone number, but I took it to just keep as a, I don't know, like, just in case this nigga go cheat again. Like, okay, now I'm a hurt your feelings, because it's like, I feel like if you cheat, you're supposed to cheat up. You're not supposed to cheat down. So, you know, that's something you can't, as a man, you're not gonna be able to fuck with. Like, if you feel like you can't compete with whoever your chick cheated with, like, you understand, that fucks your brain up. So I just was trying to hold that little ace in my pocket for the next time that nigga did some fuck shit. Luckily, I didn't use it, and then I got to use it, but I didn't use it like how I initially thought I was going to use it. Like, I was gonna George Bush the button on that nigga, and you understand, like fuck with that nigga. So one day, I'm just minding my business, getting ready to go outside, enjoy my day. I go to walk outside. Who's sitting in front of my building? It's fucking, and it looked like a weird ass double date. It's crazy. It might sound, you're like, how sitting on a bench a double date, but Carlos was sitting there with the stiff weave bitch, that he lost his virginity to, or they lost their virginity to, however many years before I was a thought. Because like I said, I was like whenever they did that shit, I probably was like 5 or 6 years old. So I didn't, like, you understand, that's how long ago that shit was, where it was like, all right, he's sitting here, next to him is his homeboy with her homegirl. So I'm like, oh, no. So I turned around and I went back in the house and I called the dude that my bro was trying to get me to, like, either go on a date, something to break this fucking chain of this lemon ass nigga. So now I said, oh, I'm gonna teach a lesson. Now mind you, the dude had this beautiful brand new BMW. The nigga I was fucking with, like, you renting cars and you don't even have the fundage with all the drugs you selling to rent like a BMW. You renting bullshit. But you, like I said, I'm not about that with people, so I didn't really care about that because I cared about him. But now because you want to be disrespectful, yes, I care about it. So now I said, okay. And I look cute. I made sure I always look cute. Like, you understand? So I'm walking out. I go to walk out the building. He stopped talking to the girl, and then he's like, oh, where you going? So I'm looking at him. I said, don't worry about where I'm going. You have company. Sit there and talk to her. Don't worry about where I'm going. So I made the dude pick me up right in front of my building. So he pulls up with his nice BMW. This nigga mouth drop. I get in the shit. So he calls my phone. He's like, who's that and where you going? I said, you are being very rude to the person that you are sitting there talking to. If that was me, I would curse you out. Like, you understand? Like, you need to pay attention to her fucking ass and stop. Because I don't understand. That's kind of disrespectful. Have fun on your little bench date or whatever the fuck that shit is. So then I hung the phone up. So he called right back. So, you know, because he's a gangster or whatever and stuff like that. He's like, oh, you better fucking tell that nigga to turn the fucking car around right now. So I was like, listen, you better sit and talk with that stiff-haired, raggedy bitch and leave me the fuck alone. I will be back in like an hour. Like, I used to like to play mental games when I was younger. I was like, let me just say I'll be back in an hour, because most people, they're gonna think that you're fucking or something like that. So that's what I wanted him to think, even though that was not the case. That was the most boring fucking time I had. Like, we got something to eat, we drove around, like, you understand? But I was trying to waste as much time as possible. So mind you, I left at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. I came back at like 8 o'clock at night. Now, he done moved and relocated to like one of the buildings that he liked to chill at with his niggas. So to put the extra icing on the fucking cake, I made the nigga drop me off at the fucking building that he was at. Like, you understand? So he was like, oh, so that's how you want to give it up? And I'm like, give it up like what? So he's like, oh, you couldn't? No, I couldn't. Was me, you, and her, and this other bitch supposed to sit on the bench? And mind you, that girlfriend, I didn't like that bitch. I didn't like her. So it's like, you just all type of wrong, nigga. You sitting with a bitch you ain't supposed to, and you sitting with a bitch I don't fuck with. Your loyalty level is fucked up. It is out of pocket. So then he's like, what y'all did? None of your fucking business. That's what we did. We ain't do what the fuck y'all did. We ain't sit on no fucking bench. That's what I can tell you. We didn't do that. So you understand? Like, but we didn't do shit. We didn't do nothing. And I just gave him a hug. Like, that was it. Like, nothing else. But I didn't want that nigga that I was fucking with. I didn't want Carlos to think that. I want him to think we did all types